Imagine this. You're sitting at the kitchen table staring at a stack of bills. Rent has climbed higher, your loan payment feels like it doubled overnight, and even the price of your kids' school supplies makes you stop and shake your head. You wonder, why does it keep getting harder just to live the same life I had last year? Behind the scenes, there's a war being fought, not with armies, but with numbers, policies, and power. On one side, Donald Trump, demanding lower interest rates, promising relief for families, businesses, and a nation drowning in debt. On the other, the Federal Reserve, holding its ground, warning that cutting rates now could send prices spiraling out of control. This isn't just another political argument, it's a clash that decides whether you'll afford a home, whether your savings will grow or shrink, whether your paycheck will stretch or vanish. And the tension? It's reaching a breaking point. So tonight, we peel back the curtain on this showdown. What's really driving Trump's fight? Why is the Fed resisting? And most importantly, how will this battle decide your future, your money, and the direction of the American economy itself? The storm over America's economy is building, and at the very center of it stands the Federal Reserve, facing relentless pressure from Donald Trump. For months now, Trump has been urging the Fed to slash interest rates, insisting that ordinary Americans, businesses, and even the government itself are being crushed under the weight of borrowing costs. Yet the Fed has held firm, warning again and again that cutting rates too soon could send inflation spiraling out of control. But now, the tension is reaching new heights. A fresh economic report has revealed something shocking. Core inflation has jumped higher than expected, the sharpest rise in over 6 months. You'd think that would make the Fed more cautious, right? But in reality, the picture is far more complicated. Political pressure is mounting like never before, and Trump is escalating the fight in ways few presidents ever dared. He's even threatened lawsuits, tied to the Fed's leadership and renovations of its headquarters. But let's be honest, his real frustration runs much deeper, straight into how America's most powerful financial institution is handling rates. And this is not some distant policy argument. No, this is about your life. Interest rates decide everything. Wall Street investments, housing affordability, credit card payments, student loans, auto financing, even the cost of America's $37 trillion national debt. Raise them and borrowing slows, cut them and growth surges, but with the risk of runaway prices. Right now, those forces are colliding, and the outcome will touch every American household. The truth is, the Federal Reserve is a strange creature. Despite its name, it's not really federal in the sense people think. And it's not a bank in the way we imagine. It doesn't take your deposits, it doesn't run on taxpayer money. But it does hold something far greater, the power to set the cost of money itself. That cost, interest rates, decides whether the economy cools down or overheats. And today, America is stuck in a paradox. On one side, growth is holding strong, job numbers are steady, and markets are resilient. On the other, families are struggling. Higher rates have slammed home buyers, shutting them out of mortgages they could once afford. Car loans, credit cards, student debt. They're eating away at paychecks month after month. For many, it feels like life costs more, but delivers less. That's why Trump keeps demanding deep cuts. But the Fed? It's staring at the risks of inflation and it refuses to blink. This has become more than a policy disagreement. It's a feud. Trump has gone public, blasting Jerome Powell, calling him weak, stubborn, and out of touch. He's even hinted at lawsuits, something unheard of in modern Fed history. But here's the catch. Trump can't just fire Powell. The Fed was built to operate independently, shielded from the White House. Powell's term runs until 2026, and unless Congress changes the law, Trump has no authority to remove him. Still, many believe once Powell's term ends, Trump will hand-pick someone ready to cut rates aggressively, even if inflation lingers. Meaning, we may see small shifts this year, but major swings by 2026. And here's where it gets personal. If rates start to fall, those juicy return savers are enjoying, on high-yield savings accounts and CDs, won't last. They'll shrink fast. Borrowers, though, could breathe easier. Cheaper mortgages, softer auto loans, lighter credit bills. For families drowning in debt, this could feel like oxygen. But zoom out, because the biggest borrower of all is the U.S. government. With over $37 trillion in debt, every percentage point in interest rates costs billions more in payments. Trump argues that cutting rates would let America refinance, saving untold billions. To his supporters, it's common sense. To critics, it's reckless, risking higher inflation, just to ease short-term pain. And it's not just households in Washington, it's corporate America too. Businesses borrowed heavily when money was cheap in 2020 and 2021. Now those loans are coming due, and companies are being forced to refinance at punishingly high rates. Add in wage increases, supply chain costs, and inflation-driven rents. And the result? 2025 is seeing corporate bankruptcies climb to their highest level since the crash of 2008. For many firms, lower rates aren't just nice, they're survival. Yet in every financial crisis, there are losers and winners. If rates drop, we'll see a refinancing boom. Mortgage lenders, banks, real estate players, they'll feast on new demand. Investors who position themselves early, those who can predict the flow of money, will seize opportunities that define the next decade. So here we are, America's economy, balanced on a knife's edge. On one side, the promise of relief from crushing borrowing costs. On the other, the danger of inflation devouring savings, shrinking paychecks, destabilizing markets. Trump and the Fed are locked in a high-stakes showdown. And the question that hangs in the air is this: whose vision will shape the future you wake up to tomorrow? If this battle over rates and power shapes your future, don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because the economy isn't just news, it's your life, your money, your tomorrow.